Yeah, well, Henry Pryor was an estate agent for 25 years and is now a property expert for The Guardian and The Observer. Thanks very much for coming in for a chat, Henry.
Pleasure.
Now, they were talking about the future just then. So what happens when this finishes in 2016, when that phase finishes in 2016? What happens then to people who want to buy properties?
Well, as we saw in Ria's package, there are rather confusingly, two elements to the government's Help to Buy scheme. The second part, which is going to finish in 2016, is the element that is going to help people, that helps people who want to spend up to £600,000 to buy a second-hand or period home. And lots of Londoners have looked at that and taken advantage of it. The element of the scheme that's been extended is Help to Buy 1, the shared equity element, and that's been extended to the end of the decade. Both schemes have been somewhat controversial. Both have certainly helped people to get onto the housing ladder.
But what happens when they end, though? Because 2016 isn't that far away when that part of the phase finishes anyway.
Well, there's nothing dramatic that's going to occur. People aren't going to suddenly have to repay the money that they've been lent in order to buy a property, but the scheme is going to be withdrawn so that new buyers coming in, like the gentleman we saw in the package, won't be able to take advantage of it. And that is giving quite a lot of cause for concern. When you withdraw the drug, are people going to be able to cope, or is the housing market going to crash again?
And so are we then going to be moving towards more of a renting culture here then, if it becomes completely unaffordable, where the haves have properties and the have-nots don't?
Well, inevitably, London, through its history, has been divided into those who can afford accommodation, be it to buy or to rent, and those who can't. Going back to Roman times, there were large camps around the capital where people effectively squatted. And today we're going to still see in the future the same sort of thing and problem occurring. People are going to struggle to own their own homes, and because we are not just the capital of the UK, but a global centre, we're going to see people wanting to move to London and will have to rent.
Well, we've been lots of people have been getting in touch with us online, on Facebook and Twitter, for example. At Richie D got in contact, and he says, renting is the norm in many cities. Why buy? Which is a genuine question. Why do we have to buy?
Well, inevitably, politicians and experts have struggled with this issue. Do they allow property prices to fall to the level that people can afford to buy, or do they help them to afford the high prices that vendors and estate agents are charging? And we've seen, as with this particular question, whether renting is a viable option. Renting is now cool. People are happy to see renting as an option for their accommodation, but still finding property to rent is incredibly difficult, and the government are working incredibly hard, as lots of other people are, including the mayor, to provide rented accommodation that is affordable and available for people to use.
Okay, Henry, as always, thanks very much.